Just imagine, I come to your house just got broken into, the person's still in the basement, they come out running, and I just watch them run away. If I'm the cop, I come to see in your house, you call someone still in my house breaking in. Person run out the back door, and we both stand next to each other, watch them run out the back door, hop the gate, look back at us, drop a radio, pick it up, and keep going. What would you be like? Officer, you ain't gonna do anything? Right? It'll be a miss. It'll be
What do you think about the state of policing in 2020 and 2021 versus what it was when you started 10 years ago?
I mean, I could definitely tell you right now, when I started approximately 10 years ago, the training and the focus was more so, I came in under a paramilitary type environment.
What does that mean?
When I say paramilitary policing was, focus on, we're going to go out there and get the bad guys. Any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? But now it's kind of shifted towards customer service and, community-oriented policing. Mm-hmm. So it's not no more of having a warrior mindset. Mm-hmm. It's more having a guardian mindset now. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, the training is kind of different now. So they're not necessarily focusing on training officers on how to go out there, get the bad guy, fight crime. It's more so as how may I serve you now, So it's kind of doing officers a disservice now, because you putting them in situations that you might not be necessarily preparing them for.
Okay. When you say a guardian mindset, do you think that way of policing is being translated to communities where you have like a lot of distrust with police in the community, especially in the black community?
Well,
do you think that we as black people understand that you are policing us in a guardian mindset? Do you think that's being translated in these communities where there's so much distrust with police officers?
I mean, folks probably don't see it because all they see is you're making an arrest, or you're trying to lock someone up, or you're trying to give someone a ticket, or you're trying to enforce a law. But folks don't understand how I'm actually trying to protect this community, whether I'm white, black, or whatever, Asian, Hispanic. If someone's known to be breaking into houses, I'm trying to get that guy off the street. If someone's known to be selling dope in the neighborhood, I'm trying to get that guy off the street. If someone known to be robbing folks, I'm trying to get that person off the street because they're a nuisance. Because most likely in those same communities, people just see, oh, you're trying to arrest black people. But what folks don't necessarily harp on is those victims are probably going to be black as well that I'm trying to prevent from becoming victims. You get what I'm saying?
We all know the origin of policing, right?
Okay.
We know that it started from a racial perspective when, police were white men were policed to go retrieve slaves from when they ran away from their slave owners.
Well, okay. When you say we know the origin of policing,
mm-hmm.
Was the beginning of policing as we know it? Because policing started in England, in Europe.
So talk to us about it. If that is not
so
the origin of policing, what is it?
See, what we're doing is taking a negative aspect of a profession and trying to feed it into an agenda. Mm-hmm. Yes, there were private people that was hunting slaves and capturing slaves. Just like you have private security now that go and work events and pretend to be police officers as well. You had people doing that also for slave owners that went to apprehend slaves as well. They wore badges just like police officers then as well. And I'm not saying that to say policing didn't have racial, elements back then, because the U.S. had racial elements back then. So you can't separate the two. But you can't just try to make the profession all just negative in the same time.
There's a lot of racism that is weaved in between this profession. It's weaved in the fabric of how black people see this profession. And so you being a black man in this profession, how do you go and put your uniform and your badge on and your gun and go out in these communities and police people and be a police officer that dispels those origins and those beliefs so that you are having a different relationship with your community?
Well, to be honest, a lot of the relationship building you don't hear about. You know what I'm saying? I mean, most people just see the negative arrest or when you got to use force on someone and bring them in. But most people don't see when I pull up at 3 o'clock at night in a parking deck and there's a woman sleeping in her van with her 3 kids and I buy a hotel room for her. Or when there's a young man don't know how to tie a necktie and I teach him how to do that. You know what I mean? We do things like that, but I don't go around and try to, hey, get a camera, I'm about to do this. You know what I'm saying? You do it because, you try to help people out. If you're able in a position to teach someone something, I believe you do it. If you're in a position to help someone, I believe you should do that as well. I mean, that's just how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with policing. That's just my character. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I was raised.
So you don't think there's nothing wrong with the policing system in America?
Do I think? See, here you go. See, this is what we talked about earlier. You said, do I think there's nothing wrong?
I said, so you don't think there's nothing wrong with the policing system in America?
So what you need to so what you got to do to rephrase that. Do I think the system needs to be improved? Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? See, when you say from that, you just trying to say it's just all bad. Every system needs improvement. Do I think? Okay. Do you think something's wrong with the medical system in the U.S.? That sounds like negative, right?
No.
But can there be some improvements? Absolutely. Does law enforcement need some improvements? Absolutely. Training. You can never get enough training. The biggest thing you can never get, funding. Let's talk about funding because
a lot of people talk about defunding.
See, let's talk about funding because we need to get police and departments are not funded enough. Let's talk about funding. Police departments aren't funded enough. There's no way somebody that plays on computers should be making a higher base salary than someone that's out there that's supposed to protect people.
What do you mean by somebody playing on computers?
IT. Let's just talk about someone in IT. There's no way someone in IT.
Don't y'all have an IT department though? Y'all need that IT department.
And they make more than police and officers that's on the streets getting fired at and fighting people. So why is it that someone that has to necessarily put their life on the line, police, firemen, social workers, why are they not funded enough? For one, the salaries reflected. For one, the equipment reflected. People think police officers' vest is can stop anything. For one, bulletproof vests don't stop sharp edge weapons. So if you ran up on me with a knife and stabbed me, it'll go right through my vest. For two, people got high powered guns. Bulletproof vests only stop small handguns. For three, the cities and governments, they usually try to get the most cheapest equipment because they don't want to spend the money. So, and if we just talking about that on equipment wise, if we want to talk about addressing the community issues, these governments don't want to spend money to address them either. So on the backside, because they don't want to put these services in place in the community, these social programs and stuff in the community, we have to deal with the negative effect of that. You get what I'm saying? So I got to deal with the guy that's out there robbing folks because he can't get a job. You know what I'm saying? So it's bigger than policing, but we just get the blunt of all the, we get the blunt of it.
Yeah.
So what do you say to stats that say that federal police funding has grown at a faster rate, leading federal funding of police to grow from 17% to 22%?
So let's okay, if you're gonna pull up that stat and say the federal funding is going to policing at this percentage and whatnot, where's the money going?
Now, it might not be going in your pocket to take.
I'm not even talking about salary. Where's the money going?
And that is the question, and that is why a lot of people are screaming to defund the police, because if you all are being federally funded at a faster rate, but yet your training is still inadequate, then yet your equipment is inadequate,
understaffed,
you're understaffed, your salaries, and then why are we federally funding you all?
That is the question.
Billions of dollars at a faster rate. Then why do
8.9 billion?
Yeah, so that's
8.9 billion, and look at the issues in Chicago. They're not getting solved.
That's why a lot of people are
so
saying
that is
to defund it.
So that's the question you need to ask the elected officials, because I know in Atlanta there's you would think it would be a separate police fund from a general fund, but and let's go back to this. We talking about funds and what folks do with money and stuff like that and government. Let's just talk about this specific traffic enforcement. The whole idea of traffic enforcement is revenue for the city, right?
Wow.
Y'all write some bullshit ass tickets.
But that comes from higher ups. You got to deal with the mayor and the city council. They want that funding, so don't blame the police for that. Blame the elected officials. Where does that money go for all those tickets and the rest and stuff like that? Because it's all business. It's all a money game. Where does that money go?
We don't blame the police for that. Defunding the police is not just defunding. Defunding the police is talking about those higher ups. If you're not going to use
are we really?
Yeah, if you're not going to use the funds to make the career of being a police better, so that it is a better interpretation in the community, then yeah, I feel like defunding is not just about the police or the little people. It's about the higher ups, for sure.
I think, like I said, funding ain't enough for policing.
But you are the police.
I don't think it's enough.
Yeah, and I would assume that nurses would think that
we're understaffed.
For medical ain't enough, and I would assume
absolutely
that teachers feel like the funding for education, and
I agree
that about all those professions.
I agree.
You are the police. You see what I'm saying?
So the question is, I'm asking you as a black woman, a mother, living in this community, what do you think the role of the police is?
Well, from what I understand, the police...
No. From your perspective. Don't say from what you understand.
The police
according
are
to you.
Here. The police are here to...
Don't say protect and serve. That's just a broad statement. What do you think the police role is?
The police are here broadly to protect and serve. To be more specific, you are here to carry out a service when people are in danger from others breaking the law, from murders, from robberies. But you choose to be in that profession. You see what I'm saying? And we're not saying that.
So, okay. Well,
I'm not saying that all police are bad and that you don't do your job, but there are instances in America, in the black community, especially as of late, where there have been bad decisions in the policing of our community and our people. There have been times when police officers have abused their power. Yes, there have been times when police officers have made rash decisions and didn't use their training. And I get it. Fear and phobia. You are policing an area where you cannot relate to the people that you are policing. When you go into a community and you cannot relate to the community that you are policing, then you go there with preconceived notions, fear, and you shoot first and you ask questions later.
All right, so let me ask you this. You're a police officer, right? Mm-hmm. Just answer the question as a normal person or a logical person. You get a call that a black sedan just robbed a 7-Eleven, right? So you're responding to that call, right? They give a description: tinted windows, black male driver, right? As you're going there, you see a black sedan drive by you, tinted windows. What would you do?
I would, if I'm looking for a black sedan with tinted windows, then I could say maybe.
I'm just asking you. Just answer the question. Would you possibly stop that car? Yes or no?
Possibly, because maybe this is the sedan I'm looking for.
It's a possibility that might be the sedan you're looking for,
possibly.
Right? So you pull that car over, right? Because you think it's possibly that sedan that you're looking for. You come up to the window. You tell the driver to put the window down. You see a black male driver. All right. What would you possibly do next?
I would possibly ask him for his driver's license.
You try to
put your hand on the steering wheel. Let me get your driver's license and registration.
All
because in the back of my mind, I cannot forget that this is only a possibility.
Correct. It's a possibility. All right. So the call came in. Possible they robbed the store, right? So a robbery usually have what?
I'm assuming you got some type of good.
Probably some type of weapon, right? To use to rob the store, right? So you tell this male driver, you trying to hold him till you get more clarity to see a good description if he matches the description or not, right? You'd possibly do that, right? So now the driver is agitated. Officer, I need to see your ID. I ain't do shit. What you need to see my ID for? What would you say then?
Step out the car.
Why?
Because
I'm not stepping out the fucking car. I didn't do shit.
I feel you. I get what you're saying.
No, I'm actually answer the question.
But at the end of the day, this is still a possibility.
Okay, so you asked. Listen. I'm asking.
Wait, I'm answering his question.
Okay, go ahead.
I also have to remember who I'm policing. I am now policing a black man who in this country is fearful of me because I am a police officer, and 9 times out of 10 I could come up to this window and before he even get 2 more sentences out, I could shoot his ass.
Okay? I'm asking
so you have to. It is. I get it. It is very hard to keep a clear head to keep.
You still didn't answer my question.
Tell him what you know.
You still didn't answer my question. You said you would ask him to step out the car.
Yeah.
What if I'm not fucking stepping out the car?
Okay.
What would you do next?
I'm not gonna shoot him.
I never said anything about shooting.
Okay,
I asked you what would you do next.
But my thing is, I don't know. I'm not a police officer, so I don't know the steps.
And this is what I'm telling you.
But
you don't know what you're gonna do unless you are in these situations.
Right. Saying, why does it come to shooting though?
Yes.
Say with Philando, right? The car was stopped.
Okay.
Why the officer is getting paid?
He said, "Do you have any weapons?" He said, "I do." He said, "Poop."
Right. So why can an officer just be like, "Okay, I got time. You're not going anywhere. It's two police cars right here. We're gonna park one in front of you and one behind you. Until you decide to comply, you ain't going nowhere." Why does it have to result to someone losing their life?
I can't answer that.
That's my point.
I can't answer that.
Why not?
Because I wasn't in that situation.
So, Philando.
Okay.
Why does it have to result to someone getting killed? Especially, most police officers are hourly, right? Paid hourly.
Yeah.
So why does it have to result? Why did that man have to lose his life? I know you weren't there, but why did the man have to lose his life? Why did the white lady who thought she was pulling out a taser and they already had the vehicle stopped, and it was multiple police officers there, why did she even have to tase the guy?
Like I said, we could bring up a million scenarios. Do you have some scenarios where the officer, I'm gonna say, fucked up? Yes, absolutely. But can I say that the profession in a whole is a bad and is targeting people of color? I can't say that. Philando Castile, that was unfortunate. That situation with the female cop pulling our taser, you can't make that mistake. George Floyd.
You said the situation with the police officer
where she pulled out her gun and thought she was tasing the guy. You can't make that type of mistake.
What you mean you can't?
You can't make that mistake.
You shouldn't make that type of mistake as a police officer.
You shouldn't make that mistake as a police officer because at the end of the day, you're dealing with people's lives.
Mm-hmm. What about a police officer going into the wrong house and killing?
You shouldn't make that mistake. But once again, what about the doctor that cut the wrong nerve?
Right.
And now you can't pee no more.
But the doctors have malpractice insurance. Police officers don't.
The city has insurance that covers the same thing. But at the same time, you're dealing with human lives. So I don't want to get into a tit for tat.
But it's tit for tat because doctors have malpractice insurance.
But the life is still lost. The life is still lost. And we all know doctors kill more people than police yearly. So we can't just pick a few bad incidents that you see on the media that some would agree, like, yeah, I mean, some instances I agree. Police fucked up. They got to be held accountable for that. But you can't say the profession as a whole is trash.
Okay, then should police have malpractice insurance?
That's what the city. This police are protected by the government, the city government. When you say malpractice insurance, so when you say police messed up, the family should be paid something.
Right.
That does
and
happen.
The police's insurance
should
happen. Go up.
That does happen. If the police did something criminal, they're not covered by the department, and they on their own. But if they're doing something in the line of duty that's justified, yeah, they're covered. How is that any different? If a police officer went out on a whim and did some illegal shit, they're not covered by anything. They're going to be on their own, standing on that island, answering to those charges.
Right, but then they don't have to pay malpractice insurance. It doesn't come out of their pockets.
It don't come out their pockets. It come out the city pocket.
Right, but what if it came out of their pockets?
It wouldn't change. It wouldn't change because you know why?
Why?
Because you got individuals making split-second decisions, and every individual is different. You can make every police officer in the nation black, incidents would still happen. Because Sean is different from Tiffany. Tiffany's different from Nicole. Nicole is different from Morris. What you might look at like, man, that's nothing. Morris might look like, man, if you went up against a 6'5" dude, 250, you got a better chance of going hands-on versus Nicole. Nicole will have to use an escalated amount of force to get him in custody. So every situation is different. Yeah, we could bring up situations where police officers fucked up, and I guarantee you someone was going to be held accountable for it. You might not see it on the news, but somebody's held accountable. Police officers are fired at a high rate, and they are arrested as well. You just don't see it on the news, but it happens.
When people get pulled over by the police, right? Mm-hmm. Keep it 100. What should they do?
Just act normal. Listen to what the officer is saying. Even if you feel like your rights are being violated, don't fight it on scene because you're not going to win. I would say, just don't say nothing. Don't be argumentative. And once it's over and done, file a complaint.
How do you feel about fighting it in court?
Like I said, with cell phones and all the technology we have, if you get pulled over, record the interaction with the police officer. I mean, that's a good tool to have. Record the interaction. Anytime you encounter a police officer, record it. I mean, for me personally, I like body cameras. I mean, so I don't have a problem with people recording me at all.
So can the footage that you record be used legally in court?
I mean, there's a possibility to be used in court or whatever complaint that you have or suit that you want to make. I mean, it's just evidence.
Okay. So basically, let me ask you this. The people who get pulled over and say, I know my rights, is that usually true? Do they usually know their rights or?
Oh, man. Most of the time, people that claim they know their rights, they don't know their rights. They don't.
Why you say that?
They just talking, man. A lot of people, just talking and stuff like that.
Okay, so if there's one thing that people should know about the police, and when you get pulled over, what is that one thing?
I mean, I would say just be calm and act normal. Don't act tense or try to be argumentative because you don't want to get into a back and forth situation with somebody. Mm-hmm. Especially, it's like I say, when I pull someone over, I mean, it's a traffic stop, I'm conducting an investigation. Whether it be because you ran a red light, stop sign, I'm conducting an investigation. So while now you're trying to go back and forth, you're possibly trying to hinder my investigation. You know what I'm saying? It's like your mom and dad ask you a question and you're going back and forth with your mom and dad. Like, you're not going to go nowhere. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes, sir. Ma'am. Just be respectful. I mean, I think that's it. Just be respectful.
Right.
Most people don't want to hear that. Folks don't want to hear being respectful for police officers.
So for the people who don't want to hear that, and I think that people don't want to hear that because some people get pulled over for some bullshit. Like, say for instance, just like this week, I got pulled over, what I feel like, for some bullshit. Like, the police officer felt like I didn't stop where I should have stopped, even though I stopped and he followed me.
So, okay. Well, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to be technical.
Let's be technical.
Did you break a law?
Did I?
I'm asking you.
I stopped at the stop sign.
You stopped in front of the white line or after the white line?
After the white line, because I couldn't see.
The white line is there for you to stop before it.
There were bushes, and I could not see.
I understand that.
Right.
I understand that.
Right. Okay, so why didn't the cop stop me right then? Why did he follow me?
I can't answer that question.
Okay, it was weird, bro. Like, if you were going to stop me because I ran the stop sign, why didn't you stop me when I ran the stop sign?
Because he was probably trying to find another violation.
Why?
I don't know. Probably strengthen his case just in case he did some. I don't know. He's probably looking for another violation.
See, there are too many variables.
It is
which is not right because I understand we are dealing with human beings,
mm-hmm.
right? So we're dealing with people who have to use their own judgment, but at the same time, there should be a criteria.
There is a criteria, there's a standard.
Right.
Either you have a violation or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Either you have reasonable articulable suspicion or you don't.
Okay, so him trying to build on that where he could have just stopped me for the stop sign, but he wanted to continue to follow me to give him more of a justification to pull me over. That's not right. I think that's foul. He could have just stopped me for the stop sign.
Okay. Because
that's what he told me. That's why he followed me, because of the stop sign.
Well, is it wrong for him to follow you? So you don't like the fact that he followed you?
No, he followed me, and then when I pulled up to the place where I was going, he never turned on his lights. I didn't care that he followed me. I cared that he pulled in just to tell me that he followed me for a mile to tell me that he followed me because I didn't stop at the white line. I stopped a little bit after the white line. Come on, that's very petty.
So here's the thing. What did you do when he told you that?
I said, okay.
Exactly. What did you do after that?
Well, he said, I'm not going to give you a citation. I said, well, thank you.
And what did you do after that?
I'm just asking. I was like, okay.
Like, yeah, sure. Just keep it moving. Sure.
I was nice. I was cool with him because
I mean, I wouldn't say be an asshole, but okay.
Listen.
If your case was strong enough, you'd have made it.
I think it was an ego thing. It was all ego.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that we are human beings, and of course we're gonna go off pride and
we
ego.
We are all human beings, and that's.
But it's still not cool though.
And that's one of the things that gets a lot of officers in trouble. Pride and ego.
So Derek Chauvin, ego.
Possibility.
Yeah.
Strong possibility.
I mean, you're not him.
I'm not him.
Right.
But it's a strong possibility.
For sure.
That's what gets a lot of officers fired or in jail. Pride and ego. Yeah. That's what gets a lot of people in jail. Pride and ego.
So let me ask you this: chasing a suspect, are you
on foot or in vehicle?
On foot.
Okay.
So, do you feel like chasing a suspect is ego driven or lawful?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Expound.
Ego driven?
Mm-hmm.
Well, lawful for one. If someone committed a crime and they take off running, I mean, by law, I'm supposed to bring that person in for justice.
So you're supposed to run after him?
I'm supposed to bring that person in, right? Mm-hmm. It'll be a miscarriage of justice if I just looked at... Just imagine I come to your house just got broken into, the person's still in the basement, they come out running, and I just watch them run away.
If you are police,
if I'm the cop, I come to see in your house. You said you call someone still in my house breaking in. Person run out the back door, and we both stand next to each other. Watch them run out the back door, hop the gate, look back at us, drop a radio, pick it up, and keep going. What would you be like, officer? You ain't gonna do anything, right? It'll be a miscarriage of justice for me not to act and go apprehend that dude and hold him accountable for breaking into your home, correct?
I agree.
Ego. As an alpha male, I'm going to get you. You done broke the law. You think you can outrun me. You ain't about to get away from me. I'm just keeping it 100. I'm sorry. I'm a man 100%. As an alpha male, if I come to domestic, you done put hands on your lady, and you try to take off or you trying to fight, I'm going to deal with you. I'm bringing you into justice. It'll be a miscarriage of justice not for me to hold you accountable for this crime you just committed.
For sure.
Women, children, elderly, those are our vulnerable population. You know? So we gotta make sure I bring them into justice.
Hey, you know what? I appreciate that perspective.
I mean, you want honesty?
Hey, thanks for doing this, man.
What you laughing for, man?
I appreciate it, man. Like, hey, who can argue with that? If I call the police because someone broke into my house and they come and the police see them running away and don't chase them, I'm like, bro, you ain't doing your job.
Because here's the thing. The training that police officers are getting now, like I said, is about customer service. We're just there to take the report now.
Right.
I'm not about to go after this dude and possibility get into a fight with him, and it's a possibility that I might have to use, deadly force.
Or he might use
it on me. I mean, or I get to your house, shoot, man, my child's birthday party is later tonight. I'm not trying to be stuck doing paperwork late. Let me just take this report and go home. We human beings at the same time. So, folks need to decide what type of police they want. Do you want me to come and take the report and keep it safe? Do you want me to see the dope boys standing on the corner watching them do open hand transactions and drive by? Or do you want me to address it? Because once I get out and address it, not everybody is going to listen to my commands. People are going to possibly run, throw dope, or fight back. And I might have to use some force. Now, when I use force, I mean, is the community going to back me? Or is the community going to say, why are you using force on them black men like that? That's what cops now have to deal with. They have to process in their head. Before I even get out my car and address some folks, I don't want no backlash. So guess what? I might just start turning a blind eye to it.
People ain't gonna want that.
Like I said, cause and effect. The more you villainize your police force, the more they're going to be hands off.
Right.
And the more the alpha males or the alpha females that actually want to go get the bad guys, they're going to leave the profession altogether. And you're going to be having people that are just looking for a paycheck working.
Like
no dedication.
Employees.
No dedication into it.
Like top flight security.
I just needed a job. Police department, the only thing hiring, which most of the time it is.